Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, back in the building. It's been a long week of sports and music, and we're here for it. Gonna run the three-man weave tonight. Know that I can't do it alone. I got the mad producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building. The Nets.
Go Nets.
My man, Breezy's in the building. Doing the Jalen Brunson celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you on our visual platforms, I'm not allowed to play the song, but I can put the logo up.
Yes, it is still Nick's tape, but it's not warranted the theme song yet, Mike. It's game 8.
It's been a good couple games, though. Almost beat Milwaukee. Should have beat Milwaukee. Beat the Clippers.
I feel like I mean, I'm rocking with Jules tonight. He played pretty good. Shot a lot of shots, but came out with a pretty good stat line. But that loss was also on him, though. At the end, I mean, I know it was a bad shot by Brunson, but it was a bad effort on getting back on defense on his part. But water on the bridge. Game is over. Knicks win tonight and the other night.
Dragged James Harden by his beard and kicked him out of Manhattan, sent him to Brooklyn, where the Nets promptly kicked him out of Brooklyn.
Fun fact, all of Barclays Center, which was packed tonight, was chanting Daryl Morey at him and promptly booed him every single time he touched the ball.
As he deserves.
As he deserves from this fan base. Shout out to the fan base for doing that thing they do where they make players who leave in shitty ways feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very good game.
All of that. He deserved all of that.
Packing up that newly created Clipper team, packed up by New York, sent him back home. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes in a couple months when we play them in LA. But
I'll tell you what, I have some theories about that Clipper team.
Oh, do tell. We're gonna kick it off with basketball, so do tell.
Yeah. So, one, I think it's the dumbest thing of all time for Ty Lue to be playing that starting lineup the way they play it. Like, why are you playing Russ, James, Kawhi, Paul, and Zubats? Like, why is that your starting lineup and you're not staggering these minutes? Where I watched
star power.
I watched in the Knick game.
Ego.
As a coach, you have to say fuck the ego and you have to do the correct thing. And Ty Lue is a guy who, as a coach, will do that eventually. I think he's just trying to feel it out right now. But in the Knick game, I watched Dante DiVincenzo on a few different possessions keep the offensive possession alive on cutback, like backdoor cuts to the rim and getting offensive boards while that lineup's on the court. And I'm thinking, who's like the garbage man on this team or in that lineup that's going to do like the little things that are going to like prevent that from happening or spark the offensive rebound if it's not Zubats, right? Where like the Clippers tonight got killed on the offensive board because Royce O'Neal was crashing, Dorian Finney-Smith was crashing, Mikal Bridges was getting tip-ins. Like the guys that they're playing against are trying to outwork them and out-hustle them because they know they don't have the talent that is on that lineup. So when are they going to start like distributing that talent a little bit better and stop committing to just that 4-guy rotation with either Zubats or PJ Tucker at the 5 and really try to mix up the other guys to do so? Because even still, when you look at like the star power, they barely scored 100 today.
The problem is they all play the same position.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They all play the same
Yeah, they scored
position.
93 today. So you have these 4 guys and you only scored 93 against a shorthanded Nets team that just out-hustled you and outworked you. Like, granted, it's like their second game together, and Ty Lue needs to figure it out. or he probably will figure it out once you hit the like 30-40 game mark. Luckily for them, that trade was made so early into the season that you have the time to learn how to play with each other. But I don't know where those other guys are who play that style of basketball to help them in that like gritty way.
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do.
Because it's Cam Thomas goes out with a ankle injury, and then they just let Lonnie Walker just ball on them. They were hunting the switch for James Harden. They got Zubats in foul trouble. They don't have another center because Plumlee's hurt right now. So depth wise is a little bit of an issue. You're gonna not get Terrence Mann on the court as much because you have to have all the other guys on there for 30 plus minutes. So I
They
don't.
are. Well,
Yeah,
that's why they're gonna do very well. They're gonna do very well against Phoenix and I don't even know Sacramento because Sabonis might be a handful for them. But Golden State, they'll do fine against them. But when they have to play Denver or the Lakers, as we saw, they're going to be in trouble because they're too small. Because if you get Zubac out the game, they're too small.
if they don't have Plumlee, because Plumlee will work.
But then he can't score.
No, but they're really just running a rim runner. They're really just doing a rim runner, like the way Golden State has done over the last decade, where it's like, hey, the other four guys are good. We just need like JaVale McGee to just fill the lane and run.
They're gonna have a problem with the Lakers. They're gonna have a problem with Denver because they have no answer for Joker. And
I mean, to be fair, nobody does.
Nobody does, but like it's gonna be like really bad in a 7-game series against Denver.
Yeah, like I don't know how their team defense is gonna work in a lineup like that, where it's like Russ and James aren't going to be playing the passing lanes a whole ton. Kawhi and Paul are going to be more pressing up on their guys. So they're going to have to try to funnel the Zubats on defense as a team. But then on offense, who's the guys that are back cutting? Like who's setting the pin downs? Like Kawhi's going to set a pin down?
It's gonna be a lot of ISO ball.
If they could figure it out, like I said, I think last time I was like, if they could get James Harden to play the way he did in Brooklyn, where he was just a facilitator, then there's no real like sky's the limit for this team, because James Harden averaging 18 and 10 was like perfect because he didn't have to be the number 1 or 2 guy. You have Kyrie and KD come in, maybe have a 30-point game here or there, and just get all the other guys involved. I don't know what the offensive game plan is for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you have 4 guys who are used to scoring 25 plus.
I did like the way that Ty Lue staggered having Harden and Kawhi as one group and Paul and Westbrook.
Russ.
I like that. I think that's very smart. That's a great way to stagger them, and everybody can still kind of mix and match and play. I honestly think the problem is going to be when all 4 of them is on the court together. As crazy as that sounds, because it's 4 men that play 3 positions.
In today's NBA, that 3 positions 4. That
but
power forward really doesn't exist.
But like we saw with the Clipper game, the moment Zubac wasn't on the floor, Anthony Davis turned into Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen if Zubac if he's in foul trouble? Because like you said, they funnel a lot. So they have to go get another big. That's what it is. They need to go get another big.
They have the
Plumlee's
pieces.
nice.
They can do it.
Plumlee's nice, but like they need another big. They need another big because PJ Tucker would be that, but he's short.
Yeah, 6'6", and he's still doing that thing he was doing in Philly, where he just wasn't making jump shots either.
Not
So he's
making
not doing a
shots.
great job of stretching the floor.
Like it's gonna get to a point where you stop guarding him, and if you do that, it's gonna get tough.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see how they progress. But right now, I have questions, and they're not really being answered because they're still so new. But it's good to see them like lose to us
And
because those are big
and us
games.
and
It's
us.
big games for especially this Nets team that's banged up, not playing without three of their best players, and we're able to pull out a victory. Like, cool. We love
Four,
that.
4-4.
Mm-hmm.
Bruin Knights.
So it's like, all right, I'm here. We like this now. And then this team was competing with Boston. It was, like, this team fights, and it's fun to see. This is like that 2017-18 team where it's like you don't really have the star, but everybody is working their ass off to try to win games. So it's fun.
Whenever you like a Brooklyn team, you refer to that 2017-18 team.
You can only refer to that team when it's a similar build, and this team is that similar build where it's like they're clearly outplaying what they're supposed to be doing right now with the level of talent that's on the roster. So I can't compare the
You also said that last
18-19.
year.
Well, when the trade happened, yes, because they were outplaying what they were supposed to be doing.
That's why I said you like that 17-18 team.
Yes, because they overachieved. And there's only a certain amount of groups you could do that. Like, I'm not going to compare from the 18-19 to 2022 team to that 2017-18 team because they're completely different.
Same amount of playoff series wins as the Knicks. Same team.
Yeah.
Same amount.
Yeah. Completely different teams. Can't compare them. What am I going to compare a team to the fucking 2012? I don't want to compare the 2012 Nets. They were bad. They were a 12-win team. I'm not doing that. It's bad.
Breezy, how do you feel about the Clippers?
Uh, few things. I mean, I think Paul George is gonna have a standout out of all of them. I think he's gonna stand out the most out of all of them. He's worked on a lot of things in the off season since his injury last season.
I want you
So
to finish your point, but I just want to give a hot take.
Go ahead.
Paul George is the best player on that team.
He is.
Yeah.
Right now, he is.
Skills wise, yeah. He's really. I agree with James there. I think he's really poised to set himself up to have a fucking season.
Mm-hmm.
But with
the
that being
best
said,
player.
Mike's quietly hating.
He's the
Yeah,
best
he
player
is.
on that. He's the best player on that team. But
But we know who the closer is. Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard.
Pandemic P.
But yeah, man, I think Paul George is gonna have the best season out of the four. And I think that the reason why they have that four playing together instead of staggering is it's the best scenario for them. That's why. I mean, what else are they gonna do? I mean, Bones Highland is a very much a player in spurts. He's doing his best Jamal Crawford impression off the bench.
That's exactly what he's doing.
And it's like that's it. After him, that's it. I mean, they have
Norman
Powell
Powell, man.
Norman Powell is Westbrook 2.0.
I think Powell is going to be that guy who's going to be the dirty guy who's going to be like, all right, here, let me hit the back cut, let me hit that corner, like let me do what I got to do. The person who's going to lose out the most here is Man, because he's going to not see the court.
Well, he's going to see the court. He's going to get his minutes. He plays with Russ. Him and Russ just run.
Yeah,
but his shot input's going to go down because now Paul George is going to be on the court, so his shots are going to go down, but he'll be out there. He's
What's
just
crazy
not going to get
is
the shots.
what's crazy is they call him he's untouchable in trade talks, but he's gonna be the first one out of there after this
He's
season.
the value. He's the value when it comes to like, oh yeah, we need a little bit more depth, or hey, we need to get another big. Who's gonna be the first name that's gonna be out? It's him.
It's going to be him.
It's crazy that it was like we refer to him as a young guy. He's like 27. He's like 27. So it's like we were talking about like young guys in basketball. We're like, oh, we're gonna trade this night. He's like 23, like good value. This dude's 27 years old.
I mean, in basketball years, that's kind of old in age, not
prime.
older in.
It's
That's
just
not,
more
yeah.
of like a perspective thing where it's like, yeah, we're talking about him in the way we talk about like the younger groups of guys where they're like in their early 20s and he's at the back half closer to 30. It's like, yeah, young guy.
Yeah, I mean the NBA is a very, very, very young man sport now.
He got
You
old
look at
fast.
you look at the age average on a lot of teams, and it's like 23, 24.
Like that Rockets team last
And
year where like the average age is like 23, 22.
yeah, and they don't believe in veterans anymore. So there you go. And that's sad, man. That's really sad
It's super
that they don't
disappointing
believe in veterans.
because the Hornets could use that shit. Hornets very much so use that shit because Gordon Hayward's not that guy.
Almost every team can use it. Every team can use it. And but there are a few teams that have it, like the Celtics. They got it with having
they got a
Al
good
Horford.
one. I think it's more a matter of just having the right ones, not just having older guys on there. Because PJ Tucker is probably not that guy you want on a younger team.
He just can't lead by example.
Pat Bev is one of those guys where it's like, yeah, he's a good professional. He may not be the best basketball player, but he's a good professional and he's going to work hard. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, you're going to feed off of his energy big time.
Like Tyrese Maxey's going to love that in Philly. He's probably fucking loving that now. He's got fucking Joel Embiid running like conditioning drills in the season. Like during practice. Like that shit's cool as hell.
That's wild.
Right? He's like, oh, we're running gassers. And Embiid's just like, again? He goes, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I need that. Don't you get tired?
Yeah, and they'll do it. They did it back-to-back days, and they keep on doing it. So, like, Pat Bev his energy is infectious over there in Philly. And I think a lot of those younger guys that are on that team are really feeding off of it. So, like, your Shakes, your Maxies, even your Kelly Oubre's, I think, are all feeding off of that energy there. Making Embiid feel young. Young and spry again.
Because he's starting to get up there.
Embiid, yeah.
How old is Embiid?
He might be 28 himself. 28. 20. I would say 28.
He's 29.
20.
He's approaching his decade.
So, yeah.
He will be 30 in March. It's crazy that he's been in the league 10 years. Like, that's wild. I feel old.
It's because he redshirted twice.
Right. It's just I feel old. He got drafted when I was fucking 18 years old.
I mean, you're 30, so
I'm not 30 yet. Don't do that to me.
30.
I'm not. I'm not 30. Closer to 29 than 30. Not yet.
But yeah, I like the Clippers team, but not against my Knicks.
They could have won tonight. Wouldn't have mattered.
I said that. I said I'm not going to be hating.
I'm glad they lost, but I wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have cared if they won.
Who?
The Clippers, if they would have beat Brooklyn.
Uh,
I mean, since they lost, get out of New York.
I do plan on hitting the chat with, "Hey, all of our teams what again tonight."
We haven't had one yet.
No, we have not. We haven't had
You're
the
asking for
basketball
it,
sports
Dylan.
team equinox. We haven't had that yet, where all of our teams win on the same night.
You're asking for it if you do that tonight. Roz
I
is
know.
on a burner. He's on
I
a
know.
burner right
It's
now.
wonderful. He's gonna hit me with this. Your franchise is dog shit. Blah 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 blah. I can't
Yep.
wait. Can't wait. Get under his skin and do that. Just like, but what about right now?
He is hot. He is not happy about this Rockets loss either.
No, it's what's crazy is like this Nets team competed with the Clippers. The Bulls went to the wire with Phoenix, but the Lakers got blown out by the Rockets.
Dylan Brooks leading the
Brooks is
NBA
balling.
3-point percentage.
Balling. I don't think it's sustainable, but to have him shooting 60% from three, but
Yeah, I don't think that's going to keep
but
going.
he's playing very, very well.
We'll see.
I'm not saying he won't
Yeah.
stay above like the Mendoza line at like 34% plus, but 60%.
He'll stay above
crazy.
that.
Remember the average in the NBA is like 33.6%.
He's going to shoot 40.
That'll be a massive upgrade because last year he was fucking horrible.
Yes, but he's hot. Well, I mean, he might cool off. He ain't shooting 60. I know that. I got 5 Will Smiths on that. 60. I got 5 Will Smiths on
30.
That. I'll put 30. Will Smiths on that. He ain't shooting 60.
Nah, he apparently linked up with one of the Canadian coaches over the summer while he was playing for Canada, and they did a lot of those like really nerdy shooting drills where he ended up putting on like one of those vests that track like shot trajectory. And every time he shot, it was telling him the angle in which the ball was hitting or going into the basket. So they came to the conclusion that if the angle comes in at a 45-degree off the shot, it's like the best shooting angle you could get. So he spent the majority of the summer going on a burner, figuring out like shot angles to like improve his shooting.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. And he went on a burner and for Team Canada, so something's working out. Now that contract he got looks like it's like, hey, that's a really good contract for that Rockets team.
Yeah, that's great.
Still shouldn't tug on Superman's cape though.
Why not?
He wanted 40. He got 40.
He didn't.
He got 40, James.
You got 20, man. Come on, man. Stop that. That's crap. That's crap.
40.
That is crap,
40.
Man.
40 on his head.
It was 40 points?
They lost by 40.
Was it 40 points?
They lost by 40 points. Yes.
Did LeBron give him 40 points, Mike?
Los Angeles Lakers gave him 40.
You're still not answering my question. Did LeBron give him 40 points?
No, he didn't exclusively guard LeBron. He didn't.
Because he said until he gives. He said
exclusively
until he
guard LeBron, or did he run to the bench?
He said until he gives
kick LeBron the balls.
He said until he gives
LeBron the balls,
me 40.
Didn't get a chance. Kick LeBron the balls.
He didn't score 40 tonight.
Didn't get a chance.
Didn't get a chance 40 tonight. He scored 40 the last game. He didn't score 40 the game before that on him. He hasn't scored 40 on him ever.
So Dylan Brooks is all about individuals. I see.
They were talking about him versus LeBron. He said until he gives me 40. That is the quote. Until he gives me 40.
On his head. Lakers win.
Notice how I'm not shitting on Dylan Brooks. I'm doing better. However, when he starts kicking dudes in the nuts, I will call him out for kicking dudes in the nuts again.
And he does. And he gets the fact that you're giving him a pass when he or ran out from talking to the media. No, nah, 40 on
I'm
his
not,
head.
and he doesn't get a pass for that. No, he does not get a
40
pass
on
for
his
that.
head.
You got to own
You
up to it.
talked all that shit and then got 40 dropped on your head.
Yeah, no, it's a
Talk to
very
the
Anthony
media.
move. It's a very Anthony move. If you're gonna talk all
Yes.
that shit and then just like not play good, like you got to face the music.
Speaking of Anthony, he has been on a Wemby burner, and he
You guys like that word, huh? Yeah,
on was it night 1 or night 2 that I had? It was night 1. It was his debut night. Anthony was poking his chest out, and I asked him, "Well, do you think Wemby is better than Julius Randle?" And he emphatically said yes. Fast forward to 2 days ago, where he doubled down and said Wemby is emphatically better than Julius Randle and will have better numbers than Julius Randle by the end of the year.
No, he didn't say that.
What did he say? Oh,
He
impact.
said he said he'll have a better year than Julius Randle.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean statistically. That's why it's like James made a mistake making this wheel spin because Anthony's going to try to weasel his way out by
he's gonna get a
using
wheel spin.
words that are gonna
That are subjective.
loser shit that I
Subjective.
always say
You're
Anthony likes to
you're
do.
you're never going to be able to get it, James. He's never
gonna give it to you.
going
Like
to
I'm never
admit it.
getting my $5 for that Austin Eckler bet. Like never getting that.
You're
You'll see.
never going to get it. You're
You'll see.
never going to get it. But nevertheless, guess who played tonight? The New York Knicks and Julius Randle against the San Antonio Spurs and Victor
And Victor
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
And wouldn't you know it, the New York Knicks won the game and won comfortably. Anthony, before the game, all day, it's Wemby's debut in the Garden.
It's gonna be
God is about to
magical.
walk. God is walking in. It's going to be a magical night.
I didn't throw any flags today.
And you could have.
I could have a few times, but I didn't throw any flags today. Because he's been getting penalized all up and down the chat all week.
Well, let's read the stat line. Wemby, thanks to James, these stats courtesy of NBA.com and James. Wemby had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Nice average game for a rookie. Nobody would frown at that for a rookie. It's a nice, good game. Plus minus 25. I don't get into that
Impact.
plus minus thing that y'all get into, but
no,
Julius
that,
Randle.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. When we're arguing like 100 point like 2 and stuff, then we're like nitpicking. But when it comes to like that says a lot about the game.
Yeah, minus 25 is a huge deal. That's how
Impact.
it's a bad effect on the game.
Impact.
Julius Randle played 31 minutes to Wemby's 30. Julius had 24 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 turnovers. His plus and minus plus 31.
Mm-hmm. Had a plus every minute he played the game.
And a lot of Wemby's stats came in the last like 7
in the
minutes
garbage
of the game.
time.
Yeah.
Last 7 minutes of the game because he went into the fourth quarter with like 4 points.
9 at one point during the game.
Yeah, he was very much so a free throw merchant today.
Yes.
Shout out to Mitchell Robinson putting the clamps on him.
Mitchell did his thing after talking a little bit today. So
it's gonna finish top 3 defensive player of the year. Write it down.
He did his thing. He called him out. All right, Mike. It's eight games. He called him out. He was like, he's a little bit long. He's like, he's big, but he plays on the perimeter. He doesn't got the body. You got to stay on him, kind of like you do Porzingis. So I'm going to try to guard him and throw him off that way. And kudos to Mitchell Robinson. Did his thing.
0 for 6 with Mitchell Robinson guarding him. And it's
Wemby
almost
settles too
like
much for jumpers, man.
because he's young. He's young. He won't settle like that in a couple years. But Anthony doesn't want to hear that. He's already
God.
fully developed in God now. So okay. But I just want to say, it's almost like Mitch Robinson is saying, I have a blueprint for playing him because I've played people like him before.
I wouldn't say Porzingis is like him if we're doing it based off of that, but like the big stretch guy, yeah, I can see that. Like, there's only a handful of guys I think are really going to be able to play him the whole way, like up and down. And and it's usually the guys who are a little bit stronger. They're going to be able to strong arm him out. However, how many guys who can physically do that remains to be seen. But Mitchell did a great job. I'm interested to see how other big men do the same, like try to emulate the hey, just press him, stay with him on the hip, on the catch, make him work. We'll see how that goes because again, I don't know how many guys can actually like do it and try to hang on the perimeter as well.
Wemby has sparked a lot of conversation in the chat with
Yes.
Anthony and surprisingly Roz joining in
At the helm.
and
Anthony at the helm.
and
Roz completely
proclaiming
missing the point.
Yeah.
by a mile.
Completely missing the point. Just to be like, why are you all hating on Wemby? It's not. I have to constantly reiterate, like, I really like Wemby. I think Wemby's awesome. I was the guy who started the Wemby train, and then Anthony kicked me out of the driver's seat, and I'm completely like, I'm on the fifth cart now, where it's like, fuck this train. So it's like, now I'm getting called a hater when I'm just trying to be the medium between Mike's hate and Anthony's dick riding, where it's just like, hey, let the kid rock. Anthony going, you guys just don't see his ceiling. I'm just like, let the kid jump off the floor first. That's what we're not doing. We're not letting him rock.
Can we stop with this false narrative? Please.
It was definitely hate in the beginning, Mike, but now
yeah,
it's
Mike,
you
literally said today, let me know when I can start talking my shit.
Well, that was because the Knicks were up by 30.
It also didn't hurt you because Wemby didn't play great. So you were all like, so the side just like, yes.
It was definitely a double edge because hashtag Spurs are not winning 45 games.
They can, and I think they will. The problem is you're trying to hedge on the bet because you know Wemby's going to walk away with Rookie of the Year, and you got to eat that wheel spin.
Well, I offered that to you before we said it, and you said no.
I want to. I want you to spin the wheel twice. Why would I give up that ability?
So what's going to happen is I'm going to spin and you're going to spin. That's what's going to happen.
I doubt that. Hey, I doubt that. The Knicks only have one more win than the Spurs, so like it can still happen.
And you think that's going to last?
I can.
The Knicks could also not lose another game for the rest of the year.
It can.
It can.
Can happen.
Sure can.
Will it? Probably not.
Will the Spurs win 45? Probably not.
Yeah. That's why I picked it. That's why I picked it, because I believe they will. It's not that far-fetched.
It is when you look at the total landscape of the Western Conference and the teams they would have to be better than.
Listen, you only have to win X amount of games, right? And you're not going to get swept by every team that's better than you.
But for your 45 to happen, they don't have to dominate the East, but they need to clean up against the East.
But that's also assuming, like, hey, they're just going to lose all but, like, 2 Western Conference game series. Like, that's not going to happen. If we're going to really sit here, like, teams can't beat teams they're better than, or
anybody in the NBA can beat anybody.
Like, I just watched a shorthanded Nets team beat the Clippers. The Clippers are better than them.
Anybody can beat anybody in the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not holding like that. Like, it's not like it's an 18 game season where it's like, man, they really got to beat their division. They have 2 games and they got to beat those. No, they played these guys a million times. They'll be
45
fine.
is a lot. 45's a lot.
They'll be fine.
Hey, can't wait.
They'll be all right.
Man.
It's not like that's just hate. That don't bring
That
your
it's
Anthony
it's
hate to
hate
me.
because I don't think the Spurs are going to win 45 games
And why don't you think they're gonna win 45 games?
because they're not good enough, Dylan.
Why don't you think they're good enough?
They're not good enough. They don't have enough talent to do that.
They
They're
have
too young.
talent. They have a lot of
They're
talent on
too,
that team.
they're too young and they're not ready for 45 wins. And I can name about 8 teams in the West better than them.
They have to be better than them. The Spurs only have to be better than them on a few nights. And that will happen. Like these games happen.
But for them to win 45 games, that means they would have to have better records than other. Just the sheer math of it, they would have to be better than a couple of these teams that they're not better than. The
It
sheer
can
math
happen.
of it, Dylan,
It can be
cannot happen.
it can absolutely happen. So
They
Mike
can
how
is
many
win
right.
teams are
45 games. They
how
can
many
win 45 games and be the 8th seed. That cannot
no,
happen,
but
Dylan.
how many teams are significantly better than the Spurs team?
Significantly better or better?
Let's go significantly better and then we'll work our way down.
Denver is significantly better than them. I think the Lakers are significantly better than them. I think when it's all said and done, the Clippers are significantly better than them.
We could debate that, but that's fine.
I think Golden State is significantly better than them. I think Sacramento, when Darian Fox comes back, is significantly better than them.
I don't know who Darian Fox is, but we can keep that going.
Darian, it's not Darian. Definitely isn't Darian. Why are you calling me out live? Like really, just can't let me rock. Just can't let me rock. You knew who I was talking about. God. And Phoenix is significantly better than them.
That's where we'll argue. I don't think Phoenix is significantly better, right? If you go based on last year, if they won 45 games, they would have been tied for the 4 seed, right? If you put those 6 teams there, these are 6 teams that I think will win 45 plus. And then when you go 7 down, it's all going to be a toss up because New Orleans, you don't know what's going to happen in New Orleans because they always get hit with the injury bug.
I don't think New Orleans is significantly better than them, but I do think if healthy, New Orleans is better than them.
The problem is they're never healthy, so we're not going to know, right?
So are you guys only naming West Coast teams right now?
Yes, we're only naming West Coast.
This is just
West Coast.
I don't think Dallas is significantly better than them, but I think Dallas is better than them.
I don't. Well, I think Dallas has the better players, the 2 best players, but I think as a team, that the Spurs are a better team. Now, I think they have a better fit up and down the roster. They don't have the 2 more dominant players, but I think that Spurs team is a good team. If you told me they won more games than Dallas, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you guys think Minnesota is better than the Spurs?
No,
I think they're the same. If not, San Antonio's better.
Wow.
I am. You know this from last year. I'm not high on that Minnesota team at all.
That Minnesota team, I think, needs to trade Cat so they could give the keys fully to Anthony Edwards.
They need to trade Cat so they can get some talent around Anthony Edwards because it's Anthony Edwards and Cat in a bag of chips.
And Cat doesn't show up a lot. He's not had a great season to this point.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. They got Conley, they got Ant,
He's
they
old.
got
Jade McDaniels is awesome.
Yeah.
But they need something else. If they can move Cat and get some more pieces in there to get another spark on offense besides Ant, but let Ant be the key to give him the key to the vehicle, let him drive it, let him be great, let him be the guy, which we all know he
is the guy.
Is. I think the idea of Karl Anthony Towns, Gobert, and him working together, one of them's got to go.
Because the thing is, when they signed, they were negligent and premature with that Gobert signing. Because when they signed him, or traded when they traded for him, they were all in on this Twin Towers idea, and then Ant completely disrupted that idea by having his resurgent.
I wouldn't even
So
say that. I think what happened was Gobert got there and they realized, oh, he's
He
not
has
that
no
good.
talent on offense.
He's not that good. Oh,
And
that's
you
why
don't really
Danny Ainge was trying to get rid of him.
and
Oh
then you have to have
no.
Cat hang out on the 3-point line as opposed to like getting to the spots in the block because he's just going to clog the paint because Gobert can't do nothing.
hmm
Because what are you going to have Gobert sit in the dunker spot all game? It's not going to like. What are we doing? What is this fucking
Cat can
1996? Like, what
Trash.
type of offense are we running here?
Trash.
and Cat is
But
shooting
so
very, very bad from three this year so
Yeah.
far.
So it's like, oh, like today, he shot much better today, but he's been shooting like 25% from three on the year. And that's not a good thing. And I think Cat as a whole, I think he could benefit from a change of scenery and get him somewhere nice, you know?
yeah, I think so too.
And not just because he's miserable there, but I think he could benefit from it. Like, if
He's
Julius Randle
miserable.
goes back into his
His
funk, he's
girl's
somebody who
miserable.
can use a change of scenery just because he needs it for his mentals, not because he just needs it as a whole. Where Cat, I think, would just benefit.
Woods would love being in New York every night. She would love it. And in
We've
turn, Cat
seen
would love
Cat with
it.
Tibbs before. That's what I'm saying.
I,
We've
I
seen this
don't want
before.
I don't necessarily want Carl Anthony Towns for the Knicks.
I don't either. I'll take him for cheap, but want
Is
him?
there a cheap with his
There's
contract?
no there's no
No,
cheap.
There is no cheap.
no.
That means you have to
Like
get rid
right
of your
now,
top 3 in defensive player of the year voting, Mitchell
I was
Robinson.
just about to say, if you're gonna tell me it's gonna take Mitch and one of the bench guys to get Cat, no, keep him. Keep him. I'm good with what we got. We good. We good.
The only
Because the
trade
whole
I'm looking
foundation
forward
that we
to,
do, Mitch is a foundational piece for what the Knicks do on defense.
the only
So
Yeah,
trade
Cat won't be
I'm
that.
only looking, the only trade I got eyes open for is the MB trade, but I
that's
don't
it.
want to get fleeced for him. But Cat, he can stay. I don't even have any interest in him.
But yeah, Minnesota stinks. So yes, Dylan, San Antonio is better than them. Uh, and I think San Antonio and OKC are equal. They're the same kind of team. I do think OKC has the better players, but would
I
it
think the better
surprise me
player.
if? No, I think OKC's better players. But would it surprise me if San Antonio finished
Jalen
with
Williams is
more?
a dog.
Dog. Dog. But the Spurs have dogs too.
Yeah, I mean, Vassell is nice.
I'm a
I'm
big
not
Devin
sold
Vassell
on.
guy.
I'm not sold
Sochan
on
sucks.
Jones.
Sochan sucks. I
No,
hate
he does
Sochan
not
so
suck.
much.
That's the
I
kid
I thought I
with the
was trying
blonde
to.
hair, right?
Yeah, I'm trying not to hate,
Yeah,
but so Jeremy Sochan does something to me where I fucking just can't stand him sometimes.
He doesn't
that kid
suck.
doesn't. He doesn't suck, but he has a little too much dip on his chip. That's his problem. He thinks he's
I
better
also
than he
like
is.
I like Trey Jones.
He thinks he's better than he is,
Trey
but
Jones. I'm
he
not
has
sold on
talent.
him.
I like Trey Jones. There,
San Antonio's
But
better
I
than
like
Portland. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
no, but I'll just piggybacking off of the OKC team. I like SGA for sure. I mean, I like Jalen Williams. I like Chet. I
I
like
like Lou
Giddy.
Dort a lot.
New
Yeah,
Dort's my guy.
I like
Big
Lou
I
Dort
Dort a
like
guy.
lot.
Giddy.
I've grown. He's a
I
lot
like
better
Giddy.
than
Giddy
he
Giddy
really
lost
off.
his
was.
job.
Giddy is inconsistent as a scorer, but is such a good facilitator.
Giddy lost his
Mhm.
job. I feel like he almost doesn't fit the team anymore.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't.
I don't think him and SGA can play together. I think that's the problem.
They play the same position.
So
So
yeah, I don't know.
But SG but Shea is not like a shooting guard per se, and Giddy is only a point
a
guard.
point
He can
guard.
only be a point guard. His game is only to be a point guard, and I don't see him doing anything else. So that's why it doesn't make sense for them to play on the court together. like it really sucks that he has to be a bench player, but it's like, what else are you gonna be
Telling
with
you,
Shea?
OKC. Whenever there's the next superstar available, OKC is going to be right involved. Right
Mm.
involved. I said this to Mike a couple pods ago. I was like, OKC is going to be right in the mix because I have all this assets, and then a guy like Josh Giddey or Chet or whoever, depending on the position that it is, they're going to be right involved, and they're going to give a great package.
Mm.
But so if you
But
put the Spurs as the 7 seed, right? 7 or 6, they can all win 40 something games, 45 plus games there. It's not far fetched that can happen. Because then
it's
you
a
can just
lot of
also feed on the dog shit in the
That's a
West
lot of
too.
losing too. That's a lot of losing for a lot of other teams, and I don't see a lot of other teams losing that much for 5 teams to be at 45.
Could happen. We've seen it before.
When's the last time you saw it
To have 5 teams at 45
in a conference?
in a conference.
5 is about the line. I would say
The Eastern
6.
Conference had 6 teams with at
6.
least
I
46.
should literally about to say 6 is probably the line.
And then the 7 seed
6.
was 44 in the Eastern
What about the
Conference. The
West?
Western Conference, 7.
7 teams.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no,
Oh,
that
man.
so 2023, I was just looking at 21, 22. The Eastern Conference had 6 teams with 45. West had 4 teams, 2 teams at 44. In 2021, the East had 6 teams at 46 and then 7 teams with 46. The 8th seed had 36.
Hmm. I stand corrected.
Yeah, it can happen.
It won't happen.
You just
That
don't want it
team,
to.
that team's going to win between 38 and 42 wins. That's what they're going to be at.
And then if you want to go to 2019, the entire Western Conference playoffs had 48 wins, at least. The 8th seed had 48. So it can happen.
But that year that you're talking, I'm going to assume the East was 2 or 3 really good teams, and then everybody else had bad records.
They had 5 teams with at least 45. And then 6 and 7 had 42.
Everybody else is under 500.
8 was 41 and 41, and then everybody else was fucking terrible. Which not
I
that far
think
fetched. The Pistons aren't very good. The Wizards really aren't that good either.
they're they're a comedy show right now.
They are fucking bad. Shame on Roz for trying to force me to want a Jordan Poole trade. Shame on him.
That looks horrible right
Mm.
now.
That as a take looks horrible.
That looks bad right now.
Did he pick
Uh,
them for 45 wins?
No, he did not. He picked the Rockets to win 40, though.
Mm.
So he should be happy about what happened tonight.
no, he's not.
He's
you know better than that. We should have
You
hit him
know
with
he's
a hashtag 40 wins.
Yeah, you know he's gonna pick his fandom over anything.
Yep. Ugh. That's gotta no. He's not rooting for that. He's already ready to just punch. He's probably already punching air. He's punching air at halftime. Yeah, as far as the Western Conference goes, it can happen. We have instances where the whole playoffs can win 45. We could be there again.
Oh, James has the Wizards making the play-in.
Oh yeah, they're playing.
They're bad.
I don't know, James. I mean, listen,
They're bad.
listen. Detroit stinks. They're bad.
Killian Hayes
They're-
is awful. I'm sorry. I remember when I was on that,
they're-
like, I'm trying not to be mean to players thing. James has heard me rant about how bad Killian Hayes is before in the chat.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrible. He is very bad. And they start him. They start him over Jaden Ivey. What is Monty Williams doing?
Right?
What is Monty Williams doing?
Culture. That's what he's doing. Culture.
Killian Hayes' culture?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just talking. I don't know. I don't know.
They have a floor spacing lineup that doesn't space the floor. Like Cade Cunningham, fucking Oscar Thompson, and fucking Killian Hayes. Like, what are we doing? What is this?
Not a lot of offense gonna go on with that.
Like, they stink. The Wizards are just a comedy of bad where they're throwing lobs off the glass down 30.
Bad. Like, I can't believe, like, for real though, no jokes aside, I can't believe how bad Jordan Poole has fallen off. Like,
Jordan Poole is shooting the worst since he's a rookie. This is the worst he's been since his rookie year. This is bad.
He's validating everything Golden State. Like, it's like it was him. He has to go.
He was unplayable. He didn't play defense. He's still not playing defense. He took bad shots. It's almost like what I said, guy's a shot chucker. He's a fucking shot chucker.
And he made Draymond so mad. Draymond turned his lights off.
I stand on I already have Jordan Poole. His name is Spencer Dinwiddie. I stand on that. And I want Dinwiddie gone. So why would I want Jordan Poole? I don't know where the offense could come from. Cam Thomas. Shut up, Roz. Shut up, Roz.
Wow, Shea scored 43 tonight.
Yeah. How many free throws did he have? Because he's become a bit of a free throw merchant, too. Not saying Shea's bad. I really like Shea.
No, that's not tonight. That was the other night. Let me go to ESPN.
Thunder. Box score. All stats. 13 free throws.
Gotta stop fouling.
He's a bit of a free throw merchant, but Shea's good.
many
So I'm
did
not
he?
gonna get mad at him.
12
How
for
many did he
13.
have?
12 for 13.
12 for 13.
That's not. I mean, that's a lot of free throws.
That's a lot of free throws.
But that's on if without those free throws, he still scores how many points?
Still
30.
scores 30. Yeah, he still
Yeah.
scores 30.
That's what I'm saying. I like Shea.
I think we all like Shea here.
It's just
You-
it's kind of the
He was
I don't
on
want to say
fire
it's the
tonight.
hard
Yo.
thing.
He was on
He was
fire.
on-
He shot 15 for 22. He missed
Yeah,
7 shots.
falling.
Oh God! Oh my God! Who did they play tonight?
The Cavs.
The Cavs. He was on fire, and they won by 8. 120 to 128.
George Garland
close
and
game.
Donovan like that?
I mean, he's a big guard. He's bigger than both of them.
Yeah. Well, they're both
Yeah.
little, but
Yeah, they're also like
Donovan is
6'3", and he's like 6'6".
Nah, you're stretching it with 6'3".
What?
You're like 6'1". You're like 6'1".
Garland's like 6'3". Mitchell's like 6'2". 6'2" and a half
I
on a
don't
good
know,
day.
man.
and just to put
Garland
that
is
in context,
6'1". I'm
Just
looking
to
at
put
it.
that in
Garland is
context.
6'1".
Oh God, he's 6'1".
Mitch is 6'3". Wow, he looks like the
So-
shorter one.
Well, that's like me standing next to you, James, because you're actually
Oh my
taller
God.
than me. But to put that in perspective, James, Garland is your height. Just throwing that out there. He's your height.
Oh, so if I'm 6'1" and you're 6'3", then does that make you taller than me?
I was saying that as imagine him trying to guard LeBron.
Oh, here we go.
That's
All right,
that's where that point was going. That's where that point was going.
Just cut the
That's where
shit.
that point was going.
Just cut the shit, Mike.
So For the play-in. Not
Yes,
the
the
tournament.
in-season tournament kicked off last week. Uh, I mean, the NBA did a great job marketing because it was all over Twitter. And you know what else was all over Twitter? These courts, because
The Red Sea.
whoo,
It's horrible. This is so stupid.
The Red Sea, Dylan.
This is so dumb. It was
like
cool
I
for
like
3 seconds. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And I'm like, "All right, I hate this."
and like I like the Bulls logo being all white like that, but yeah, nah. I tried to tell you, no, these courts, no. Like
They need
I'm
to hire Mike
literally
because Mike is a
the Knicks court
NBA
tonight
court
was
enthusiast.
the Knicks court tonight was fire. Shout out to Kid. Boston, I mean,
But this is
doesn't
not
look bad.
terrible.
That doesn't look bad. We'll see how it looks on TV when like it's in live action Friday.
That looks like the 70s Celtics court.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
No, because
that.
back in the 70s they used lime green. I don't know why the Celtics had that ugly green back then, but that court's not horrible. Milwaukee's court was fine. Like,
Yeah, because it was mostly just normal ass court.
yeah, Milwaukee's court was fine.
Normal ass court.
Not this stupid shit.
This Indiana's. Oh man, that's terrible. That's tough on the eyes.
That was very bad because they don't even have turquoise in their jerseys. First of
Nope,
all,
nope. It goes with the jersey.
No thanks.
Shout out to Obi Toppin with the dunk.
Can you-
Hashtag 40 wins for the Pacers.
Can you just put the Commissioner Cup trophy on the logo and let these guys have their normal courts?
And let it go.
Just let it
Like
rock.
wait till y'all see the Knicks. The Knicks court is gonna be orange. Like orange. Like I don't want to see it like at all. Nothing in me wants to see this Knicks court at all. And it's just so frustrating.
I have something. Here we go.
Yep, I like that. Mhm.
oh,
That's terrible. Like that looks fine as a picture. Minnesota's won't be bad.
This is
OKC,
bad. This one's bad.
I didn't like OKC's. The
I'm
Magic
not mad
won't
at
be
this
bad.
one.
Magic's
I'm not mad at
plain.
that red court is just horrible. Memphis
That's
isn't
good.
bad.
Memphis is good.
I hate the red court. Hate the red court.
Bucks was fine.
That's
Bucks was fine.
This is going to be
Lakers
annoying. That's going to be annoying on TV.
Lakers one's not going to look good, I don't think. But I've seen the Lakers with an all yellow court, so. But all those red courts, you can throw all of them out. I don't think Golden State's court's going to look good either, but Detroit's will look fine, I think. I wasn't crazy about Denver's.
The Cleveland's is just the easiest
Cleveland
one.
will
It's like,
be
yep, it's
fine.
just a basketball court.
Cleveland's fine.
I like the Mavs.
The Hornets one.
Charlotte's is. I don't like Charlotte.
The Nets have already had a great court before.
Yeah, Brooklyn's one will be fine. See,
I don't
like how that
I don't mind the Boston one. I don't mind the Boston.
I don't like Atlanta's. I don't like
that
Phoenix.
one. Oh, the Phoenix one. Oh, that
Phoenix
one was
one's
terrible.
Phoenix one's not going to be
Oh,
good.
that one was terrible. Oh, fuck. That's
I didn't like that one either. Yeah, the Phoenix one is not.
Oh no, that's bad.
All the red courts, you can throw all the red courts out. Who's that?
That's the Spurs.
Oh wow!
I thought it was the Sonics. Like they made a Sonics one. Oh, that's bad. That's
Utah.
too.
Oh my god, double purple. Come on, Utah. Come on. That won't be bad. Who's that?
I'm not mad at this one.
Eh,
The random ass turquoise in it though is just weird. Ugh. 90% of those are horrible.
Oh, all the red courts, you can throw them all out.
So I have come to the conclusion that I still don't give a fuck about this tournament. Still don't give a fuck. Will I claim a win in the tournament games when it happened? Yes, because I know I'm not winning a title and got to root for something. But the second a team wins this, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, this is great, but we need to go win a championship because this doesn't matter."
Like, are they going to see how players play
This
in
is
this
something.
tournament and be like, oh, they didn't play good in the or somebody catches a burner on in the tournament and like, yo, we got to get him for the real playoffs because did you see how he played? No, no one cares. Like, this is a waste of time. Waste.
This tournament
It's
would be a
not a
great
waste of
idea.
time for the investors, like I said, because you know how the season starts off very slow. You barely get this is for the casual watchers. I'm gonna keep on telling you guys, and you guys know this. This is not for us. This is for the casual watchers because this is gonna bring them to say, "Oh, aren't the NBA doing that in season tournament thing? Let's see what's going on." That's all they're bringing in because the lifers like us, the real fans that are gonna
We're
watch
already here.
every NBA game just because they're watching every NBA game are like, what the hell is this? Why? But it's not for us. It's not for us. But I'll tell you one thing though. This is something that they should have implemented probably like 20 years ago if they would have thought of it. Because
It's almost like I said this exact thing, Mike. I said like 40
it
years
doesn't
ago this should have been a
matter.
thing. Doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter. Doesn't matter. They're already because they know that most people are already like championship driven. So this is going to be another thing that they don't care about compared to winning a ring.
Right.
Thank you for literally my exact point on this whole
Is that
tournament.
what you said?
That's what he said, word
Bar
for word,
for bar,
last minute.
word for word. Where I was like, the NBA and the media and how we cover the sport has already determined it's championship or nothing.
Yep, championship or bust.
That's it. If you either won a title or you suck. That's literally it,
Yeah.
right?
Anthony.
That's literally what it is. And it wouldn't be like that if this tournament was implemented 40 fucking years ago, where it like would have made a difference, like in Premier League soccer, where they have all these fucking Champions League and all Europa League and all that stuff, those little tournaments that happen and matter because it's been ingrained in the history of the game that these trophies and cups and all that shit matter as part of their season. Like those things, oh, well, how many of this trophy do you have? How many Champions Leagues do you have? How many of this? How many of this? Cool. Yeah, that matters. Now it's like, all right, so we're going to value this Commissioner's Cup trophy as what? Like,
Mm,
you're all like mid-season tournament team. Where does that put you in your all-time rankings? Like,
yeah.
it's like with the Western Conference MVP, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Nobody's gonna give a fuck about that.
Mhm.
Steph's the first ever Western Conference Finals MVP. We're just gonna add
Yeah.
his resume, or are we just gonna be like, this kind of doesn't fucking matter? So, like,
He like didn't even know what to do with the trophy when he got it.
sure, thanks. So I'm interested to see what when the team wins this tournament, how do they react?
I think it depends on who wins it.
Like, I think this tournament would be so much better if it was for the fringe teams, where it's like, hey, you know that playing thing we do? You guys just can just have the 7 seed.
Mhm.
No matter where you finish, you guys will just have the 7 seed because you guys clearly gave a fuck enough. Gave a fuck enough for our mid-season tournament for our ratings that will reward you
Automatically
with this.
qualify.
Automatically qualify, or you qualify for the final of it. So if you beat the team who beats the 9-10 team, whatever the fuck it is, you play them for the 7 seed. But you're guaranteed a spot.
It's too complicated.
You can make it work though. You could make it work. There's some logistic
I
about it,
mean,
and
the end season tournament, you don't know what's going on, so I don't think that is that far to to implement that than this.
Like if I didn't
We
just
don't
see a
even know. We
commercial
don't even know what
for
the end.
Friday
We don't even
being
know
a
what the
tournament
end
game,
result is. I don't even know what the end result of this is. I don't even know what the losers from the first round batch of games happen. I don't know what happens with any of this stuff.
They just don't play.
like the Bulls
Like
lost game 1 of this tournament. What does that mean for them?
That means that they have to win their next game.
Like I don't know.
when Richard Jefferson was doing his whole monologue explaining this shit, it was like wah, 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 wah. I watched it so many times.
That's what happens
So many
anytime.
times.
Mike, stop hating. Stop hating on
Richard
Richard.
There will be no denying Richard Jefferson hate.
It's just not clear. Like these like what is it? One tournament game a week?
It's supposed
It
to be
seems
2.
like
I thought it was supposed to be 2.
the Nets played one. We played one last Friday, and then our next one is Friday against Boston. And I wouldn't have known that unless I saw the commercial for it right now at the bottom of the fucking screen during this fucking Warriors Nuggets game. I would have
Every
watched
Friday.
anyway, and it wouldn't have been because it was a tournament game. Because I would have been watching anyway. So like,
It's gonna be every Friday.
it's just so dumb. It's so stupid. This is 40 years too late. This should have been like Magic and Bird era.
That could have been
Something.
fun.
That would have been great. Because it's like, oh man, they won the midseason tournament, but they won the title. But this person won MVP, but this person won first team this and this. And like, you build the legacy of this. There's no legacy to this. This shit doesn't matter. Championships or you suck. Watch the Spurs win this, and Anthony's going to be like, oh, Victor Wembanyama won the first Commissioner's Cup. Ah.
That's what they're probably banking on.
Yeah. Listen, somebody's going to take it serious. It's going to be one of these young teams playing for something, right? Because you know you're not going to be competing for a title. Yeah, you may get out of the first round, but that second round and on is going to be tough. So like these fringe teams are going to be like, hey, maybe we should go all in on this thing just to like have something.
But I do think once they get to Vegas, whatever 4 teams get to Vegas, I think they will take it serious. Those teams, whoever it is, because it'll be in front of you then, and the NBA is going to be like, play hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Play hard.
So
the world's watching
mm-hmm.
from a neutral fucking place. Why is it got to be in a neutral place? Why can't it just be home and away? Home field advantage. This is stupid.
Good enough. This isn't the play. This is not the playoffs like this was.
We want to build Vegas as a market for us to get a team. You're going to have a team in Vegas anyway. Who fucking cares, Adam Silver? Who fucking cares?
Like
we gotta we gotta sell the Sphere. Outside of the Sphere is gonna be just a basketball. Blah. Dumb. Fucking stupid. Now we gotta face the Celtics again in a tournament game. So yeah, I'm all in on the tournament.
What do you guys think about the post game audio of Ant talking about Jason Tatum when he clamped him up that last possession?
Talking shit, Youngblood. Talking shit. Because you're not gonna sit there and call ISO on me, act like I'm not that guy.
Yeah. He said, I play defense. I just didn't play defense because I got 5 fouls. I like that.
Like,
I like that.
Talk your shit. Do what you got to do. The game is more fun when people actually take shit seriously, right? And at the end of the day, like you get paid to play 82. Obviously, the beginning games, you're like, yeah, the ramp up games or they matter a little bit less, but like that stuff sets your tone, and you have one of the best young players in the game sitting there and be like, nah, I'm gonna fucking guard one of the 5 best players in basketball, and I'm gonna fucking clamp him up.
And then say, but but I love the fact that he said what he said, right? And then after he said what he said, he's like, "But you know, I mean, he's like one of the greatest, best players in the NBA right now." So it's like, yeah, I like
Talk your
that.
shit like you're like you're just gonna go. Oh yeah, let me switch to Anthony Edwards and I'm just gonna get a bucket.
Yeah,
Like in
nah.
what world? That doesn't happen.
All of these guys, like when they want to be good defenders, can
They
be good
can be.
defenders.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
And all you gotta do is just
And if
poke the
they all
bear.
do that, and if they all do that, the NBA would let but guys be defenders again.
Yep, and let them get away with fouls and let them get away with stuff.
And boom, we have a competitive league.
But no, we want to sit players every 3 games. At the start of the season, fucking Jimmy Butler needs rest. What are we doing? What are we doing?
These guys don't. These guys don't want to play defense anyway.
There's some guys that want to. It's just they're the guys that aren't the superstars.
I would say it's not the superstars though. They don't want to play defense.
Playing defense is tiring, to be fair. Especially when
It
you
is
got to also
tiring,
go
but
and score 30.
it is tiring. But when you're the primary defender and you got something to prove, you show up for that.
Yep.
You show up for that. Jimmy Butler shows up to guard LeBron every single time they play because he knows that he has yet to get that stop on Bron. So he wakes up for that. He wakes up for that, and they fucking still lost.
Well, no, the Lakers. They Miami. He got his moral victory. I mean, LeBron passed, even though Cam Reddish was wide open and
He
just
made the
missed the
wrong
three.
pass.
That was the
Did he?
right pass. He was wide open.
Yeah, Christian Wood was right under the rim of the dunker spot. He could
But
have
you
dumped
see,
it off.
if this was, so you see that pass he made right there, right?
It's a good pass. I just
LeBron,
think it was
yeah,
a better pass to make.
that pass he made right there was a good pass. Maybe it was a pass between that and another pass that you say that is the correct pass. But had this been LeBron on the Cavs in year 5, 7, it would say he was scared, no heart, too
Oh, they still were doing
like,
that.
too passive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Too passive. He doesn't got the killer, no heart.
Clutch gene
It's
killer.
like
You know I hate that shit. Like make
yeah,
the best
things that
wrong with making the best basketball, right?
mm, they want you to
Like
force
what's
that
the
up.
So stop right there.
The play was for Cam Reddish right there in the corner. I
No,
mean,
I know. It's just me
yeah,
personally when it's a 1-point game and you have Cam Reddish in the corner instead of Christian Wood on the dunker spot.
yeah, that dump pass right there, you have the tendency of probably him not making the catch or getting blocked versus passing it to the wide open shooter. I'll take the shooter every time.
Or you get a foul and he dunks it or whatever it is. Like there's multiple options there. He had a smaller guy on his back. He probably would have gotten the foul there. That's why it's like I'm not gonna get mad at LeBron for passing that because he's
But they
wide
already
open.
was
It's the
they
right thing.
probably they was already complaining about not getting calls all game, so they wasn't banking on that probably.
Yeah, like he didn't make the wrong
yeah,
play.
too.
He didn't make the wrong play. He made the correct basketball play. You got to hit the open guy. I just for a 1-point game, I would have probably dumped down there. But no, Twitter wasn't even alive, and it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Who
like, "Oh, I
can?
don't care. You got to take that shot." No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, like you got to take that shot over Jimmy and then a Bam who's closing up. Why are you take like that's a bad shot? And then he misses that shot. And like, oh, that's why he misses it.
Yeah,
No clutch.
Cam was wide open in the corner anyway.
I seen Michael Jordan shoot over 7 guys at one time and make it. Why can't he do it?
People are the worst. Like, yeah, Kobe and Jordan took a lot of bad shots and made them. Like, that's not the standard. Like, that's not what it should be. Not everybody has to do that. Like, basketball is more than just getting that bucket.
Those two made hero ball popular.
Man, it's so stupid. And it has this false narrative about what basketball is to a bunch of people who don't know basketball, like Anthony.
Jordan and Kobe. Jordan and Kobe birthed Jordan Poole. They just think that's how you play.
Jordan Poole is the exact that's the reason right there that those shots aren't good. Because you get dorks like Jordan Poole who think they can make all these fucking dope shots when they're not that guy. And he fools people. He fools them into thinking he's worth all the money he got. Because he hit a couple half-court shots during a playoff run.
When in reality, he was getting those shots because Steph Curry was on the floor. And that's
because Steph Curry is just an unbelievable human. And Jordan Poole is who the Nets should go after. I will never let that live down. I'm gonna type in Jordan Poole in the chat by game 30, and I'm like, "Hey, Roz, you still think this is real? You still think that's a thing we should do?"
No, I wouldn't even ask the question. I would just put the quote.
It's just LOL.
No, not even a LOL. I would just say randomly, no quotations or anything. I would just be like, we'd be talking about anything random. Roz would be talking about how he started his new job, he loves it and everything, and he just go, the Nets should trade for Jordan.
It still baffles my mind. Where it's just like,
oh shit,
and a whole argument.
A whole argument about the Nets don't have 5 players better than Jordan Poole. The Nets exactly have 5 players better than Jordan Poole. It's bad. God. It's bad. But, well, Wizard fans are going to get real sick of him soon.
And Kuzma.
Kuzma's salvageable. Jordan Poole is a lot. Because Kuzma wasn't kicked out of Lakerland because of his play.
He was
just a casualty of nepotism. Of LeBron being like, "Hey, get me Russ."
And he played very well in that bubble.
Mm-hmm. He balled. Mm-hmm. That's why it's like Kuzma is salvageable. Jordan Poole was outcast in Golden State. He got beat up, and then they couldn't play him because he was unplayable on the court, defensively and offensively. So you send him to basketball Siberia in Washington.
That's exactly where he is right now.
Let him get his shit off. That's what he wants to do.
And then somebody's going to think he's like Jeremy Grant in Detroit when he was averaging like 25. And like, yeah, let's go give him this wild contract for him to go and give us like 15 now. Go off, Jeremy Grant. That's exactly what it was. Empty buckets.
Hashtag free Jeremy Grant. Hashtag free Jeremy Grant.
Free Jeremy Grant from what?
Portland.
He's exactly where he needs to be.
I'm so glad the Knicks didn't fall for it.
Fucking my buddy Fredo was like, "Yo, I wanted the Nets to go after Jeremy Grant." I'm like, "For what?" He's an empty stat guy. He averages 25 on a team who wins fucking 6 games. What are we doing? That's the guy we want? No thanks. When his points turn into wins, that's when we'll call. And we haven't called.
We haven't. Yeah, I would say we haven't.
We haven't called. Yet. We haven't called. So it's not free Jeremy Grant. He got his bag. Let him suffer. Let him suffer. Dame is a great friend. Dame said, "Hey, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to say that I'll stay, but sign your contract and then I'll request to go." He's like, "All right, bet. Rich Paul, do your thing.
Get her done."
All right, cool. Ink's dry. It's a little wet. I want to be out. I'm out.
So, are we going to talk about Monday Night Football?
Yeah, let's talk about Monday Night Football. So we get an even-keeled, level-headed Jet fan talk. and not whatever Roz is, because that was not great. There's no way you could allow 186 yards total on offense and then lose by 3 scores.
And get ran off the field.
Like, you can't do that. That's wrong. That's bad. To blame just Zach for Monday Night Football is just incredibly dishonest. Disingenuous as a whole, because it wouldn't have mattered who played quarterback in that game.
It would not.
Wouldn't have mattered. The offensive line was bad. The play calling was bad. The players were bad. It was just bad. So, yeah, Jets defense is so fucking good. We love to make these good quarterbacks look like dog shit. And even with as bad as Zach played, he still played a better game than fucking Justin Herbert did. Can Zach get benched? Yes. Yes, he can.
Yes.
Because he is a problem. He is not the problem, but he is a problem. But you can't expect this team to do anything with what we have, because this team was supposed to just be Aaron Rodgers. This team is built for Aaron Rodgers, and we are hindered because Aaron Rodgers runs this organization. And Ross told me I was right today about that, which is wonderful. Told me to take my victory lap, but it's not something I want to be right about. It's not something I want to be right about, because we're held hostage because of this fucking guy. Zach's not going to get benched because Aaron likes Zach. So that's not happening. Much to the chagrin of Roz, Salah's not going anywhere because Aaron likes Salah. Aaron likes this group of people, this group of coaches. Offensive coordinator's not going to get fired or get play calling duties taken away from him, because that's Aaron Rodgers' best friend.
Although he needs to step it up with his.
Don't get me started.
That was bad.
Don't get me started. Alan Lazard leads the NFL in drop percentage. He's not going to go anywhere. We don't have anybody else because Corey Davis retired, and that's Aaron Rodgers' buddy.
You harping on this Corey Davis is.
Corey Davis dropped a lot of balls, but he didn't have the drop percent that Lazard had. Lazard is rocking like a 40% drop rate. That's
Corey
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Good.
Corey Davis is a 1,000-yard receiver.
Like he's not good.
He's not great. He's good enough to be a third wide receiver. Is he not?
3 or a 4.
He's a good. I think he's a awful 1, a bad 2, a really good 3. And that was supposed to be the ideal.
That scale doesn't make sense though.
Some guys excel in that third role. That because the slot receiver is the easiest receiver spot to get open from. So that's why you kind of scale upwards in that. Because you don't sideline barrier.
Bad 2, really good 3.
I think a really good 3, yes, because when you're on the outsides, you have the defender and then you have the sidelines. You have 2 defenders. It's much easier to get open out of the slot. That's why slot corner is the hardest position to play in football. So I think he would have been really fine in that role. But the problem is we have the 2 worst receivers in football, Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, both Aaron Rodgers guys. So we're hindered to Aaron Rodgers, and this wouldn't have happened if we just went and got Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr is still playing football. And Aaron Rodgers goes on McAfee every Tuesday to shit on science. But he's throwing a football 50 yards.
Do you believe in the Chargers? Did the Chargers show you that they could sneak in the playoffs?
No.
Neither did I.
No. The Chargers' problem is beyond their personnel. It's much beyond their personnel. Their coaching, their play calling is bad. Their coaching's bad. Everything about like the structure of that organization is bad.
And their quarterback's not that guy.
No,
he has to deal with a lot.
He's that guy. He's got a lot going against him. It's hard to defend him to be that guy when there's a lot going against you with injuries at your wide receiving core, and your play caller is an idiot, and your head coach is an idiot. And then you also have that fucked up left hand, so you're catching snaps all crazy anyway. He's got a lot against
Proved
him.
He's proved multiple times over multiple years he's not that guy.
It's because I don't. It's hard to, like, I don't think he's gotten better since he's been in the NFL. He stayed the same level quarterback, which is still a very talented quarterback. The problem is he doesn't have a coordinator or a coach to elevate him. And all good quarterbacks need that. Josh Allen had Brian Dable. And then they were like, yo, let's go get you Stephon Diggs, because Allen's first 2 years were not great. And then they got Diggs, and it was like, okay, he's comfortable. He's good. And then he had an offensive coordinator who fucking believed in him.
Allen made the playoffs without Diggs, though.
Yeah, but he also promptly got them packed the fuck up.
He did not play well, but I just
He
you
was
said that
awful.
you said he wasn't good, and I just
He
went to
wasn't,
record
but
to
that
say
Bills again, winning is not a
so that's
fucking
it.
quarterback stat.
Dylan.
Winning is not a quarterback stat.
Dylan. Buffalo was atrocious. Then he got there and they made the playoffs.
Buffalo was a year he was a year removed from a playoff team. Like, Tyrod brought them to a playoff appearance. What are you doing?
Dylan. You don't think Josh Allen had anything to do with that?
No, I'm not saying he didn't, but he was fucking terrible.
But you said he would. So how did they make the playoffs then?
They had a good defense, and he had a lot of like, he had the flashes of brilliance that, like, helped out. I'm not saying he wasn't all, like, he was 100% awful. No, he had flashes of brilliance. It's just he got to hide a lot of that, and you start to see a little bit more of it now. Because I've always been like, a Josh Allen's kind of a dodo bird, and his first 2 years in the NFL, he was a fucking dodo bird. He was stupid as hell, because that playoff game against Houston where he took a sack 35 yards backwards.
Something crazy like that, yeah.
Those are the types of things he was doing all year, as well as trying to hurdle guys and throwing lasers 60 yards down the field to nobody but defenders. Like, those are the type of things he was doing all the time. Now we get, like, glimpses of those things, but he was not very good. He was not very good his first 2 years, but he buckled down and figured it out. Now he's just less stupid, but it's still kind of dumb. Herbert needs his Dable. He needs his offensive coordinator that believes in him. I don't know who that guy is, because if you got an offensive coordinator who's fucking really good, you're not letting him go, right? Unless it's Eric Bieniemy.
Who the Raiders should be calling, but they're not.
I told you who I think they're going to be calling. I think it's very real. No, I haven't gotten any, like, news on it, but I'm calling it. They're Raiders gonna be looking to do a splash move, and it's gonna be wrong to Antonio Pierce, because Antonio Pierce is gonna do a good job.
So let's talk about the Raiders. Anthony's not here, but through all the turmoil, the Raiders knocked Daniel Jones out the game. Well,
he did himself.
They didn't. Yeah, I would say
didn't.
he didn't knock. They didn't knock him out the game. He tore his ACL, so non-contact.
Yeah.
So he went out the game, and the Raiders beat the dog shit out of the Giants.
Oh, you said a bad word.
Beat the Giants down. And then started smoking cigars and were partying in the club.
Can't do that.
After the game.
Can't do that. I get why you're doing it, because it's for Antonio Pierce, and you're trying to, like, establishing a culture. That's a thing, which Antonio Pierce is doing a good job of.
Can't put it on social media.
You can't let that get out.
I don't have a problem with them doing it. I have a problem with it getting out, and I have a problem with your best defensive player being the one that let it out.
They had too many players on IG Live after that game talking crazy shit about McDaniels. You can't have that either.
Yes, you can. It's because it that team is the definition of he lost the locker room.
He lost the locker room the second he walked in. He never had.
That's fine.
He never had the locker room. He shouldn't have gotten hired. I said that the second he was hired. I was like, this. What has he done to deserve this job? They don't deserve this.
Well, we said that, but we're here now, and he clearly didn't have that locker room, and that's why it's not surprising the reaction by the team. It's not surprising that Antonio Pierce had them fired up, and they played like a team that has the talent that is on that roster.
Robert Saleh needs to sue Antonio Pierce.
For what? Oh, for using
Gimmick infringement.
It's not gimmick infringement.
It is.
Did he trademark it?
I don't know. It's all on the Jet gear. All gas, no brake is all over the place. You saw it in Hard Knocks.
I mean, I can make a shirt that says it.
Gimmick infringement. As bad as Monday Night Football was, I don't feel any different about how the Raider Jet game is going to go.
Which is
A Jet win. I don't feel any different. Because, again, we make good quarterbacks look bad. And we make bad quarterbacks look terrible. And that offensive line for the Raiders isn't very good. And if the game plan is going to be what it was against the Giants, which is just run the fucking football, that's what you expect. I don't expect Aiden O'Connell to fucking rip us up and down. If that happened, I'd be incredibly shocked. But
it would be stunning.
I would be absolutely in awe if that happened. Like, just kill me. Just kill me if that happened. Because Aiden O'Connell's going to be the quarterback that rips us up and down. But, like, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, like, I don't know. But Josh Allen, like, I'm already at a loss of words. It hasn't even happened yet. Like, I don't care how good Devontae is. The defense doesn't allow for those deep passes to happen. Like, the Jets gave up the lowest amount of deep passes out of all the defenses in football. So it's just,
I really can't wait to watch this game. It's going to be fascinating to see two bad teams play because it's a fascinating game.
and
I'm invested.
I really hope the Jets offense fucking just does something, man.
Nice
just
to
do
shut
something. It'd shut them up for 2 minutes. And then the second they don't get a first down, then he starts going to complain again. Like, man, they just scored a touchdown. Oh, yay, they scored a touchdown. The bare minimum.
They'd have to score 40 for him to be impressed.
No, he would still be like, this team still sucks.
I'm in an interesting predicament because me and Anthony have a real spin bet on the Titans and the Raiders, who will have the most wins. The Raiders are up a game, so I need the Jets to win and get it done.
I need the Jets to force turnovers.
But
It's the only way we're gonna win.
I like Antonio Pierce so much. I really would love for him to get another dub. But Anthony again makes it so hard to root for his teams.
The bright lights, all eyes on Vegas, he says. All eyes on you. Every time it's a primetime game, he does that. It's like, who cares? The world is watching. Shut up. Shut up.
But this is not a good prime to like Panthers, Bears on Thursday. No disrespect, but Raiders, Jets Sunday night. That is not. I don't even know who's on, and I don't think the Monday night game's good either.
Who is
It's
the Monday
not
night?
a good like.
Yeah, it's Broncos Bills. The Broncos might fight because the Bills defense is so beat up. Broncos might have a chance there.
It's only intriguing because we need to see which Buffalo shows up.
The Buffalo offense will show up. The Buffalo defense just doesn't exist anymore. Sucks. You know what game I'm not watching?
What?
That Patriots Colts game. I'm not getting up to watch that.
9:30 in the morning from Germany? No, thank you.
I'm not getting up to watch. I got up to watch the Chiefs Dolphins game.
That's a prime time game.
I'm not watching Patriots Colts. However, when I wake up and I go to the gym before the 1:00 slate comes on, I will be watching that game because I would like to see Bill Belichick get fired in
It's
real
not going to
time.
happen. It will
Nothing,
not happen.
nothing, Mike. Nothing would make me happier
I know
than
that,
to find
but
out that Bill Belichick was not on the plane ride back.
he is not getting fired. There's
Yet,
nothing.
yet.
There's nothing that's gonna. He's not getting fired in the middle of the season.
But what if he did?
He's not.
But what if he did? There's a
He's.
chance. There's a
There's not a
chance.
chance.
There's a
There's
chance.
not a
It's not
chance. He's
zero.
not.
It's not zero.
He's not getting fired.
But what if he does, Mike?
He's not getting fired.
The party that I would throw would be of epic proportions. However, it would scare me because they would probably just put what's his face, the linebacker coach in front of it. Who the fuck's the linebacker coach in New England?
I guess it's as good as mine.
He's a former player, former linebacker coach. I mean, former linebacker for them. What the fuck is his name?
Willie McGinnis.
No, Gerard Mayo.
Oh,
They probably put Gerard Mayo in charge, and that's horrifying because younger guy, former player, can be that in between the Patriot way and like coaching a young group.
actually coaching players in the 2000s.
Who knows? That's why I think it could be horrifying. But if Belichick were to get fired, I know who'd be the coach going into next year.
Josh McDaniels.
Nope.
It's gonna be Bill O'Brien.
Nope.
If it's not Bill O'Brien, then I don't know.
You're not gonna like this answer, Michael.
It's not gonna be Vrabel.
It's gonna be Vrabel. Vrabel will be the next head. He will be the next head coach of the New England Patriots because your organization is looking for a reason to get him out. Remember, we were watching a coup. The coup's not over.
The coup is over.
If you guys don't make the playoffs, they're firing Vrabel. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. The GM has no ties to any of these guys. I'm calling it, Mike. As much as I don't want it for your own sanity, that's what's happening. Like the tea leaves are being read.
It's
The
not
writing's on the
happening.
wall. The writing's on the wall. And nothing will make you more pissed off than when you get Jeff Fisher back as your head coach. Let me
We have
stop.
our quarterback.
That's wrong.
We have our quarterback. We're good now. Season's not over.
The season's not over. No, season's not over.
Not over.
But again, if you guys don't make the playoffs, I think they're gonna just pull the plug on the Vrabel thing. GM has no ties to him. Why does he give a fuck? He's gonna bring his own guy, and then that GM's gonna let Henry walk.
That's what's probably gonna happen. He's gonna let him walk.
Yeah, he's gonna let what? Why am I gonna pay this 30-year-old running back $13 million when I want to get younger and run a different offense? Run something more on par with what the NFL is running, and not this smash mouth old school football that still works.
That still works very well.
Mm-hmm. But Dilstradamus, he's alive and well.
Hey, hottest gambler alive. Do you have a bet for us?
Oh, let's see. I've hit a lot of my bet. Like, I was on a heater over the last couple weeks. Heater. What do I got? Let me load up. because that Bengals +4 pick against the Niners was that's a great pick. That was a great pick. Just saying, that was a great pick.
Just watched the last play between the Celtics and the Sixers. Wow. If I'm Jaylen Brown, I am furious. Furious. Is it going to be football,
NFL.
basketball?
I'm going to do NFL. I'm going to do NFL, and I'll give you a basketball one after. Oh, wow. The Jags are only are 3-point dogs. That's it.
Are they playing again?
San Fran.
Wow. Tennessee Buccaneers are only getting 1 point against Tennessee.
It's 1.5.
Give me the points.
You would take Tennessee +1.5? I'm not touching that game. That's only because the Bucs defense is a good defense, and Todd Bowles is a really good defensive coordinator against a rookie quarterback. That's where it's like, I'll wait. I'll see on that. I don't want to touch that. If I would have taken anything, I would have taken -1.5. But I'm staying away from that game. Falcons -1.5. I love against the Cardinals. I would actually take an alternate line of -3 because that Cardinals team stinks, and that Taylor Heineke at quarterback is electric because he's not scared to throw the fucking football. So I would take Cardinals -3 as an alternate line. If that alternate spread, Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, -2.5 is +124. So I would take that in a heartbeat. And I'm almost tempted to take Dallas Cowboys -16.5 against the Giants.
They're -16.5.
-16.5 because Danny DeVito's playing quarterback.
Well, the Giants can't score, so.
And the Jets Raiders game is just 1. The Jets are a 1-point favorite against the Raiders. So I'm not touching that game at all. So yeah, give me Falcons -2.5 for +128. That would be my bet of the week.
Wow. So one more time. Lock it in.
Falcons -2.5. Alternate spread.
That is Dylan's lock of the week.
We love that. Hammer it. Bet the house.
Bet the house.
I'm not a professional. Don't blame me if you actually bet your house. Yeah, a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Please do. Don't come here.
Don't come here because I'm going to egg you on. Basketball, I don't really touch the spreads. I kind of usually look at the matchups. If we're going to go for more NBA, do I have any games that aren't today's games? Nope. Can't give you a basketball one.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anything on that UFC card we need to talk about? Prayer's gonna lose, so. Don't you owe me Gatorade?
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Why? Why do I owe you Gatorade?
From Terrence Crawford Spence night.
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I've been trying to double down on that, and we keep betting the same things. So it's
just pay up. Just stop stalling and pay up. Red Gatorade.
Hold on. UFC 295. All right. John Jones versus Stipe was canceled.
Yeah.
So we have Yuri Prohaska versus Alex Pereira as the main event, with the heavyweight interim fight with two dudes I've never heard of before. I've heard of Tom Aspinall fighting,
that's who's gonna win.
and they were not. They did not offer this fight to Stipe, which is crazy to me.
If I'm Stipe, I'm not fighting them young bulls. For what?
Fight for that interim belt.
He has nothing to prove. He's already won the title twice.
Because now John's not gonna be able to fight for a year.
And then Stipe's waiting for that bag. So
Stipe's gonna be
Stipe's
like
gonna
50.
go. At this point, he's gonna be like 50, and John's gonna hit him once, and he's gonna disintegrate. But get that bag.
Double or nothing for this fight card.
On what?
On this fight for the Gatorade.
Do we have that many? Do we even have fights that I care about betting on?
Probably not, but we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. No, I'm up.
Come on.
I'm up.
You don't want to fight on bet on Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern?
No. Even though Andrade is probably going to win. No.
We're actually probably picking the same exact fighters anyway, so this doesn't even fucking matter.
Exactly.
Yuri Prohaska versus Alex Pereira. Who are you picking?
Pereira's winning.
Oh, you have Pereira winning. Oh, no, I have Yuri Prohaska winning.
No. Yuri's winning. I just said
yeah,
Yuri's
okay.
winning.
Okay.
Yuri's winning. Yuri's winning. Aspinall's winning. I'm trying to pull up the card.
I have the card on the screen, Mike.
That's too small. I can't see it.
Then let me know it's too small, because I can do this. I can make it bigger.
Hey yo.
Pause.
Jerry Thomas. Andrade. We all had John winning.
Yeah, we all had John.
Especially now, Stipe is going to be 64 by the time they fight. Dylan's never going to let me hear the end of it.
What?
When John beats Stipe.
Oh yeah, because he's the GOAT.
I don't even know who those two men are, Dylan.
Who? Matt Frevel and Benoit St. Denis?
Benoit St. Denis? Who are you?
I know Diego Lopez and Pat Sabatini. I know them.
I know Pat Sabatini.
I know this John Jones fella.
I've heard of that John Jones guy.
I heard he's the fucking greatest of all time.
I heard he's okay. I heard he's a cokehead, though.
Okay. And beat dudes up. Beat that fat boy DC behind Coke.
Don't disrespect DC like that.
DC's a GOAT. He is a GOAT. But he's not the GOAT. Because the GOAT is John Bones Jones.
Anderson's by the same, but
no. Anderson has lost. John has a bullshit loss.
John has lost.
He lost because he was beating the shit out of a guy.
John has lost.
Has he? Why did he lose? How did that fight end?
And not getting his hand raised.
But why did he lose?
Because he didn't win.
Because he was beating the shit out of a guy. He was beating the shit out of the guy, and the ref called him for north-south elbows that were not north-south elbows, and he disqualified him.
Lost.
Undefeated, never lost. That was bullshit.
Lost.
Never lost. And he's never broken his leg against a guy in the octagon. Have a pussy's Anderson Silva anyway. Pussy. Did he get beat up by fucking old One Eye? What the fuck is his name?
We knocked him out.
Oh God, what the fuck's it? British dude.
Bisping. Knocked
Bisbing,
Bisbing
love
out.
Bisbing.
Knocked Bisbing out.
Still a damn shame we never got Anderson Silva versus GSP.
Yeah, washed him. Washed GSP.
What are we doing?
Washed
What
that
are we
midget.
doing here?
Would have washed that midget.
Midget? He's
Midget.
an inch shorter.
Midget compared to Anderson.
He's like 2 inches shorter than him. How's he a
Wash.
midget? He's
Wash
5'11".
that
He's 6
midget.
feet tall.
Wash that midget up.
Calling GSP a midget is crazy. He's 6 feet tall.
Act him up.
You think what Chael Sonnen was doing to Anderson Silva that first fight was bad? Man, GSP would be fucking wrecking that motherfucker.
And what happened?
Chael's dumb and got
Win.
fucking tapped out.
Win. That's what happened.
I like Anderson Silva, but he's not better than John Jones. Anderson Silva doesn't have the fucking dominance that John has. I said it. He doesn't have the dominance that John has. The
Okay.
murderer's row that John went through has like Anderson could never. Who's the toughest opponent Anderson Silva fought?
Name him. I don't know. Shogun, Vitor. I don't know.
Let's take a look.
Damian Maya on steroids. I don't know.
All right, let's go to UFC. Rich Franklin, who he beat the dog shit out of. Travis Luter, Nate Marquardt.
Well, that's 2 Hall of Famers you just named. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but those aren't the level of guys that John fought. We'll get to John. We'll get there. He did beat the shit out of Dan Henderson. I'll give you that.
Hendo.
Shitty Forrest Griffin in one of the most embarrassing fights I've ever seen in my life.
One of the best fights I've ever seen.
One of the best fights. Chael, I mean, the Forrest didn't do anything. He's getting the dog shit kicked out of him.
One of the best fights I've ever seen.
Damian Maya sucks. Chael Sonnen sucks.
Oh, Chael sucks.
Chael does suck. Chael Sonnen does suck.
Vitor on steroids.
Vitor on steroids, but John also beat the dog shit out of Vitor on steroids. So, Yushin Okami, Chael Sonnen again, Stephen Bonner, which is, and then here's a bunch of losses. Weidman, no contest for Nick Diaz. Lost to Bisbing.
He knocked Bisbing out. He beat Diaz.
When did he knock Bisbing out? He lost to Bisbing by decision.
He knocked Bisbing out, and Herb Dean is a horrible referee and didn't stop the fight after Anderson walked away from knocking him out.
Did Herb Dean stop the fight?
No.
Then it's on Anderson to go until the ref stops the fight.
Knocked him out. Separated him from his senses.
Lost to Daniel Cormier.
On 3 days' notice. Come on.
Don't take the fight. He beat Derek Brunson.
He saved the card.
That card had Brock Lesnar on it. It didn't need saving.
3 days. 3 days notice though. Like, come on, we're not gonna.
Lost to Israel Adesanya.
He lost to Izzy. That's when he passed the torch.
Lost to Jared Cannonier.
He'd already passed the torch. It was over.
Lost to Uriah Hall.
That's a bad loss.
That's a very bad loss.
That's a bad loss.
John Jones. I'm gonna read through this resume and you'll be like, okay, damn.
I know his resume.
Oh yeah, you can't. That's why you can't say the dominance is there, especially because he's never lost. All right, so let's go.
Dominance is different because he started beating guys by decision. He wasn't stopping anybody. He was just outpointing them.
Where do we want to start? Let's go with his UFC. Andre Guzmão, decision, fine. Stephen Bonner, decision, fine. Jake O'Brien, submission, guillotine choke. Matt Hamill, DQ.
Loss.
Stupid. Brandon Vera, TKO, knocked his ass out. Vladimir Matvinchenko, TKO, elbows. Brian Bader, packed him the fuck up, submission. Mauricio Shogun Hua, technical submission, guillotine choke. Quentin Jackson, Rampage Jackson, submission. Lyoto Machida, submission. Rashad Evans, decision. Vitor Belfort, submission. Chael Sonnen, TKO. Alexander Gustafsson, decision. Glover Teixeira, decision. Daniel Cormier, decision. Ovince St. Preux, decision. Daniel Cormier, no contest. Alexander Gustafsson, KO. Anthony Smith, decision. Thiago Santos, decision. Dominic Reyes, decision. Cyril Gane, domination.
A lot of decisions there for such a dominant guy.
Yeah, he didn't finish, guy. John never was a finisher, but he
Then
was
that's
overwhelming.
not dominance.
Dominance, he was overwhelming in 99% of these fights. He had 2 shaky fights on this record. And no losses.
And he's winning, and he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Dominant wins.
Dominant is not the word.
He has 1 split decision on here.
I thought the Gustafsson was a split decision also.
No, it was a unanimous.
The first one?
Yeah. September 21st, 2013 was a unanimous decision. The only split decision that's on here is that the Thiago Santos fight.
And he lost to Reyes, by the way.
No, he didn't. For what? He was Dominic Reyes, who was backing up the whole fight? No. Absolutely not. That's a silly thing. I argued everybody that fight too. I was like, what did he do? He hit John a couple times and then he ran away the whole fight. John sitting there just walking him down. He ain't
Not
lose.
throwing.
He threw enough.
Did not, actually. He did not.
Who won?
Reyes won the fight.
It says here that on February 8th, 2020, Dominic Reyes did not win this fight. So, cry me a river. Cry me a river. What's happened to Dominic Reyes since then? Nothing. He's dog shit. Dog shit. He gets beat up. Thiago Santos had to go to a whole new fight organization because John tore both of his ACLs. Huh? Are you muted?
Better than him that night.
Was he? Because he didn't win, so I guess he wasn't. When's the last time Anderson Silva tore both a man's ACLs and MCLs of both his legs? Because John did that to Thiago Santos, and it was nasty work.
And still almost lost the fight.
Hey, dominance. John Jones is the GOAT. Nobody has a resume like John. The only guy in MMA who has a resume like John's Fedor. That's the only other acceptable answer. It's Fedor.
Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap tonight up.
I'm him. I have I'm him.
Before you get to I'm him, we have to tell everyone to hit that like, share, subscribe button, the notification button. Catch us on all your streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Twitch, YouTube. We're on everything. I'm him. I have a feeling I think I know where both of us are going with this, but
I'm him goes to a guy who in real time made Anthony shut the fuck up on Sunday with Mr. CJ Stroud. promptly, Anthony tried to say, "Oh, CJ Stroud's not the best rookie quarterback." Trying to root for Aiden O'Connell, who's never done a fucking thing. Well, CJ Stroud has pretty firmly cemented himself as a top 10 quarterback already. Had himself one of them 450-yard games with like 5 touchdowns. And then in real time, I've said he has an argument for being a top 10 quarterback. Anthony's like, no, he's not. Wait, hold up. CJ Stroud's got the ball 10 seconds left. CJ Stroud. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. I concede. Living in the moment in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to CJ Stroud. Dude's balling.
Best
Absolutely
quarterback in
balling.
the draft.
Best quarterback in the draft and one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football right now. I can't hear you.
Mike Tradamus.
Mike, you got one thing right. Meanwhile, I'm predicting the downfall of Anthony's fantasy football team in real time.
We can't.
What's more impressive, you saying CJ Stroud was the best quarterback of the draft, or me predicting Anthony's downfall in real time to a T?
We both saw Anthony's downfall coming.
I put a number on it. I'm actually thinking that number is going to increase now that all of his best players are on a bye week well.
He very may lose again.
He may drop 4 in a row. If he drops 4 in a row, it's going to be nasty work. Dilstradamus is going to be in full effect. I've been saving it. I haven't put it in the chat yet because he's been running for me all day. So I can't, I haven't put him dropping off the leaderboards because he's created bad sports karma for himself.
Ever since he cheered that injury,
it's not been the same. Once he started talking shit, once he came in cheering injuries and talking shit, saying how he was never going to lose. Here we are. Nothing but L's, consecutive L's. CJ Stroud on him.
CJ Stroud was absolutely him. But I have to give I'm him to Josh Dobbs.
Yes.
And walked off the street, didn't even know the names of the people he was throwing to, didn't know the snap count or the cadence, and still beat Darius's Atlanta Falcons.
You hate to see that.
Hate to see it.
Arthur Smith is committing war crimes. Fire him.
Like, he's got fantasy owners and just NFL fans.
Gamblers.
Just going crazy because we don't understand why he won't give the ball to Bijan. And Bijan's not on the injury report. So it's like, what are we doing?
My brother made a great point. He was like, Arthur Smith is just a run game coordinator. That's all he is. That's all he can figure out how to do well, because this passing game stuff that he's got going on doesn't really work well. And
but it doesn't give the ball to Bijan.
He doesn't give the ball to his best player.
Like Bijan, the ACLs of the Jaguar player that he broke in London, it's still on Andy's floor right now. It's still on Andy's floor from that unbelievable juke that he did in London in the Toy Story game. And we haven't seen Bijan since.
It's a war crime. Actual war crimes being committed. Put him in jail. Straight to jail.
Terrible.
Vivek Ramaswamy, as your first duty as President of the United States, arrest and fire Arthur Smith.
Please.
In Vivek we trust.
He should probably pardon Trump first, but when he gets around to it.
We gotta get Arthur Smith first. Fuck all that.
Trump will be all right.
Trumpito will be fine. We need to get Arthur Smith out of here. What he's doing is a crime against the United States of America.
Ruining gambling.
It's ruining gambling, it's ruining fantasy, and it's probably causing the real reason for the issues in the Middle East. So get Arthur Smith.
Get Arthur Smith up out of here, please.
War crimes. It goes. It goes Benito Mussolini. And it goes Arthur Smith.
Don't get us banned. Don't get us banned.
I had to stop from the other guy from World War II because that would have been a real problem.
That would have been it. That its episode would not make it to
Oh,
air.
it's Mao Zedong, fucking Benito Mussolini, Arthur Smith.
Terrible. Terrible.
Oh God. I'm too much sometimes. I'm sorry.
Shout outs. Anything.
Underscore podcast Poppy underscore on all social media platforms. Who knows? Maybe I'll be participating in political commentary. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Politics is stupid, but it's really funny at the same time. I'll just be shitting on both parties, talking shit about everybody's favorite Republican candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy. Underscore podcast Poppy underscore on all social media platforms. Go Nets, go Jets.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, watching. If you're on YouTube, follow me on the socials. I am underscore NBJ on the socials. This has been a crazy week in sports. We didn't even get into some other things, pop culture wise, fantasy focus. Yeah. But before we do go, Dylan, did you know that the streets are talking and Lori Harvey is back on the streets?
I thought you were gonna hit me with something else that like another politically charged joke that would have got me going again.
No. Just wanted you to know that Lori Harvey is
Lori Harvey's back. She's
back
back.
home on the streets. Back home.
I thought I saw something about that on TikTok this morning when I was doing my rounds before I went to work.
Yes, she's back on the streets.
Damn shame Anthony doesn't like black women.
We may have a wheel spin for you guys next week. If the Jets win, Anthony has to spin the wheel. Raiders win, Dylan has to pay money. So
I'm a gambling man.
see.
Don't fuck with me, Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson costs me a wheel spin, I swear to God,
Well, you won't have to spend. He will actually cost you money. He will take
he will take
off your
he'll take
your
the money. I don't care, but if he take I don't care about the money. I care about making Anthony spin the wheel. That's what I care about. That's what I fucking care about. If he takes that opportunity from me, scorched earth. You think Ross hates Zach Wilson? You fucking wait. There'll be hellfire like nobody's ever seen before. Full scorched earth. You know that Elmo meme I posted when Roz was at the airport? Now that's me.
Yes.
That would be me. I will go down to One Jets Drive and I'll personally take care of that fucking Mormon hand like ASAP.
Those sentiments are of Dylan's and Dylan's alone. We do not condone violence here on this show.
He'll be soaking in blood. He won't be soaking in women anymore. It'll just be blood.
Shout out to Logan Paul, the new United States champion. Shout out to Dylan's son for conquering his first Big Mac. I was very excited for him.
He had himself a fucking Big Mac and a large fry. The fry was bigger than his fucking head. Boys' Day was successful. No, the fries were hidden. We split the nugs. The nuggets were, hey, these nuggets are in the middle. We share them. Boys' Day, respect. We share the nuggets. But that Big Mac's all yours, Playboy. You got to figure that out. And he was just like, oh, man, I'm full, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, you're full? He goes, yeah, that was really good.
Yes, it was. Welcome to the club, young man.
Welcome. He's a grown man now. We went out and we got job applications.
Next and final level is quarter pounder and double quarter pounder. That's That's the secret boss level, though. He doesn't know
The
double
double
quarter
quarter pounder.
pounder.
I think he'll be fine with the quarter pounder.
Quarter pounder is the
He'll
final
be all
level.
right. He'll be all
That's
right.
the-
The double
that's-
quarter pounder.
That's when he unlocked a whole different side mission.
That's something. Who knows? We'll see. Because graduating from Happy Meals is
It's a step. I didn't think he was going. I'm also impressed that he did a large as well, because I thought you were
I
gonna.
told him flat out. I was like, you're doing Daddy's order. Like, this is what we're getting. We're getting the same thing.
Coke.
No, he got a Fanta. He likes orange soda.
Oh, I would say the high C orange.
He likes orange soda. I asked him, I was like, what do you want to do? I was like, you want to do the same exact thing I'm doing, or do you want orange soda? He was like, I don't want Fanta. I'm like, okay, you can have Fanta. But he got a large Fanta,
which is a lot.
So that little boy was pissing.
Should have got him that acid Sprite. That's what you should have got him.
He had himself a day. He went to his coding class, and all we were talking about was just Jaden doesn't really listen to music. Like, if people were asking music, he doesn't know. So I asked him in the car, and I know this. I'm like, all right, man, what do you want to listen to? He goes, something that goes hard. And I'm like, I didn't expect that. What are we doing?
When you put that in the chat, I was like, yes.
And I didn't understand what he was looking for. So we spent the first like 30 minutes of our ride trying to figure out what he was into.
Did we
Huh?
Did we figure it out?
We figured out this guy really likes Yeezus. He's a big fan of most of Yeezus.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, that's the type of like hard you're looking for. He goes, yes, I like this. I was like, so a lot of bass and high energy, huh?
Yep.
Okay, I got you. This all makes sense. This all makes sense. So really enjoyed Black Skinhead. Did not tell him the name of that song though, so don't want to be problematic in 4th grade.
Probably not a good idea to tell him the name.
Oh, Jaden, what's your favorite song? Black Skinhead. Could be.
Go to the principal's office.
Yeah, that's not a phone call I want. Hard to think it's problematic if you were to go in there and be like, oh yeah, I like Kanye West. Oh well, okay.
Okay. But okay.
Successful Boys Day.
Success. Hopefully we'll have a successful bet. We'll have somebody. We'll have a full house next week.
Maybe.
Hopefully. It's next week. When do we take things? When are we off for Thanksgiving?
The following week.
Okay, not next week. The week after. Okay.
The following week.
And then we actually have to report after Thanksgiving because the Jets are Black Friday. So we'll be right back on. But yeah, we'll deal with that when we get there.
We'll figure that one out. That's gonna be a lot. Because it'll be Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and then like after the game. We might have to save that for a Sunday night recap.
Yeah, maybe that might be the best way.
Steven and I are on a hot streak, so we're balling out. We're convinced the coaches are watching us because they're doing what we're saying. They're stealing our flow.
But from us to you, we say adieu and good night.